the 26th of September. And I was supposed to be on my way at this precise moment to Hollywood, California, and the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors Summit. But my doctor told me, David, SmallBizDavid, not a great idea for you to go. We need to do some testing. So, didn't go. I was looking forward to the event, but my health is very important, so we are going to stay in our home in Paddock Hills, Ohio for the next 5-6 days, when I was supposed to be in Hollywood and Los Angeles and surrounding communities. I was reading an email newsletter that I get every day from a friend of mine. His name is Eric the Bulldog Dieters. Eric is now he's a radio personality. Well, he has been for a couple years, but he just expanded his radio network visibility in the last week, and has he's seen nationally, and also his radio show is streamed live. But I'm sorry, I guess I probably could tell you what the call letters are. Let's see if he's got it in his newsletter. He does not. Interesting. He doesn't have it in his newsletter. His call letter, his station. Maybe at the bottom of his newsletter. He actually has one of the best newsletters I have ever seen. Oh, here we go. You can hear Eric the Bulldog Dieters. Well, you can only hear him in Miamitown, Ohio, Crittenden, Kentucky, Waynesville, Ohio. I need to tell Eric the Bulldog Dieters to get a live streaming channel at stickcam.com. But one of the things he does, I'm going to start sharing that with you because I found it very interesting, is he says, not today in history, but today is also known as, he does that every day. Somebody does some interesting research for him to find out what today is known as. But today, it's known as 5 different things. I wanted to share that with you. It is known as National Good Neighbor Day. So I hope you spend the time being a good neighbor today, as I'm sure you all are. It is also National Pancake Day. Since I'm not a big eater of pancakes, why don't you do that and let me know how your National Pancake Day was. It is Banned Books Day. That is very interesting. I've never seen a listing of books that are banned, although when I was growing up, I remember some books that were not allowed to be taught or shared in school. Today it would be, actually, can you ban books today? If you ban them, somebody will tweet them, or somebody will go online and quote from them. Love Note Day. What a nice thought. Today is Love Note Day, so why don't you send a note to someone that you love. And here we go. Today is also known as Street Dancing Day. So if you feel so motivated to dance today, take it out to the streets. Street Dancing Day sounds like something I ought to be doing. I would like to actually, first segment today, I do this once every 4 to 6 weeks, and I do it because it is very, very inspirational for me as an entrepreneur. I've been doing what I do for over 40 years as an adult. Well, I should say, as an adult out of college. And I do it because I want to do it. That's what I want to do with my life. And I have been very, very fortunate, very blessed in my life as an entrepreneur to do really what I want to do and when I want to do it and how I want to do it. I've been very, very blessed to be able to do that. And when I first started as an entrepreneur in the 70s, I was in the publishing business and realized, I did two significant events happened in the 70s in terms of publishing, well, more than two, but I bought my first business. It's the only time I've ever bought a business. That was done in 1974. And I started a magazine, which was a dream of mine. I started working on it in 1978. We published in 1979. Those were the two major events of publishing that I had in the 70s, and I learned a lot about publishing. I just made the comment today. I was at my local Staples copy center putting a little job together that it took me back to my days of publishing when we didn't have all the technology that exists today, and it was a real challenge to publish in the 70s from a production standpoint. Now it is a very, very simple process to publish. And the young lady who was handling my job and did a very great job, thank you, Morgan, at Staples, I was kind of sharing with her how things were in the good old days. I was probably her age when I started to do the things that I did in publishing. But it's a different world today, and it's easier. It's actually easier to publish it. And the world is being transformed. There was an interesting bit of a statistic that came out in the last couple of weeks that there are more e-books on Amazon than there are printed books. That's a whole new dynamic. I take it to the next level, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it. As you know, I've published one book on my own. I wrote it, edited it, actually sat down with a friend of mine who was a printer, and we got it printed. I did that. No big deal. I've bought lots of printing in my lifetime. That's the difference. I bought a book that was printed. And I forgot why I was talking. Oh, and then I was involved in another book, which just a year ago I got my Query Award for my participation in this book, specifically Chapter 23. And by the way, I will send a personalized copy of Chapter 23 to the next 10 folks who register to become a community member at davidsbarter.com. Let me pull that up on the screen for you. At davidsbarter.com. You know where you are supposed to be when you see the big red box on the right-hand side of the page. The next 10 people that register to become a member create a community marketing profile, no cost, it's complimentary, and send SmallBizDavid a message that you want your copy of Chapter 23 from this book. I will send it to you, and you can also, in your message to me, ask your most compelling question about business, small business, starting a business. What's the most compelling question that you have? And I will answer your question. I'll write it out, I'll sign it, and send it to you as my way of saying thank you for your support. Next 10 people. Okay, so I got involved in this project. Actually, I wrote it 2 years ago and got the award for it last year. I was going to go out to this to the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors Summit without having written a book or being involved in anything in the last 12 months. A written book. And I thought about this, well, what are you doing differently today? And is it a better thing that you're doing today than maybe you were doing a year ago? And I say absolutely yes. Because my books today come in the form of creating a YouTube about a topic, something that I could write about as well as speak about. Actually, I will speak the topic better than I will write the topic, no question about that. And then I publish that YouTube, obviously at YouTube. Then I publish it at Google+. Then I publish it in our community on a landing page. And to me, that's the new way to do a book. I think it's a more compelling way to do a book. I think it's a more engaging way to do a book, because you're not just reading something. When you read a book, and I'm not saying don't read books, when you read a book, you are interpreting for yourself what you think the author is saying. You don't know for a fact that that's exactly what they mean. It's your interpretation of what they are. In the last year, I've spent a lot of time listening to audiobooks, such as this one by Michael Gerber, The E-Myth Revisited. The reason that I would rather actually listen to a book than read it, because I hear Michael Gerber in his voice, his expression, his feeling, what he is trying to say. I don't have to guess what he's trying to say. I know what he's trying to say. So to me, it's a more compelling way to do a book. To that point, then, I think we're in a new era. You can, if you want to take your YouTube, whatever you've done, you can have somebody transcribe it, or you can transcribe it yourself, edit it, and then get it published as a written book, if that's what you need to do. I wanted to be involved in a written book, the very first book, How Do You Answer These 749 Questions About Your Small Business. The reason I wanted to do that is because it was my dream to do it, to write a book, and then to actually manufacture that book. I didn't actually manufacture it by myself, but I didn't go to a traditional publisher, a book publisher, to manufacture that book for me. I did it on my own. And you know what? That was a dream that I set for myself in 1974. I published the book 4 years ago in 2008, so that's 34 years. It took me 34 years to realize my dream, but that's okay. I did it. And so my life wasn't going to be complete until I did do it. But there's a new way to publish books, and I encourage you to think about it. I encourage you to get involved in it. And in fact, you could use that as something to sell on your landing page. You could talk about your book. You could get some excerpts from your book. You could write it. There's a lot of different things you could do. So write your own book. We'll publish it. We'll help you publish it. If you have any questions, you can always ask me. We'll help you publish that book on your own landing page, and then you can sell the book yourself where you make all the money. When you go to a traditional publisher, and I'm not even sure what those deals are anymore because I've never gone to one, but I can't imagine that an individual who is an early author makes very much on a book. I just can't imagine that a publisher would allow that to happen. Now, when you're a famous publisher, one who has sold lots and lots of books, the publishers come to you and say, hey, I want you to write a book, and I'll give you $1 million up front before we even print the book. I will give you $1 million advance because we know folks will read your book. You've proven it. So, think about publishing a book, and think about creating a landing page, and test the idea for the next 92 days. If it's a good enough, if enough people generate an interest in that, you could win a 3 years subscription, well, actually 400-day subscription to our managed, optimized bandwidth. Enough about that. Okay, indulge me as I read the. Actually, I'm going to